Welcome back. In the previous video, we learned how to recognize a dynamic programming problem. We also established the workflow we will follow throughout this course. First, write the recursive solution. Then, optimize it using memoization. And finally, if needed, convert it into tabulation. Today, we will focus entirely on the first step, building the recursive solution for the 0-1 knapsack problem. Once you understand this recursion, the rest becomes much easier. Here is the problem, stated exactly as you would see it in an interview. You are given the weights and the values of n items and a knapsack that can hold a total capacity of W. Put items into the knapsack so that the total value is as large as possible. And remember, this is a 0-1 knapsack. You cannot break an item. You either take the whole thing or you leave it. Let us first understand what we are given. The problem provides us with an array containing the weights of the items, an array containing the values of those items, the capacity of the knapsack, and the total number of items which we will represent as n. Our objective is simple. We need to return the maximum possible profit that can fit inside the knapsack without exceeding its capacity. Since we are trying to maximize profit, we already know this is an optimization problem. And for every item, we have to decide whether to include it or skip it. Those choices are exactly what recursion is built upon. Before we solve it, let us quickly confirm this really is a dynamic programming problem using the two signals from the previous video. Signal 1. Is there an optimization? Yes, we want the maximum value. Signal 2. Is there a choice? Yes, for every item, we decide to include it or skip it. Both signals are present, so this is dynamic programming. Many beginners jump straight into coding. Instead, before writing a single line of code, create the choice diagram. If you understand the choices, writing the recursive function becomes almost mechanical. Let us think about one item. Suppose we are currently looking at an item with weight W. What possibilities do we have? Case 1. The item fits inside the knapsack. If the item's weight is less than or equal to the remaining capacity, then we actually have two choices. We can include the item or we can exclude it. Case 2. The item is too heavy. If its weight is greater than the remaining capacity, we have no decision to make. The only possible action is to skip it. So, when an item fits, recursion branches into two. When it does not, there is only one path. Now that we understand the choices, let us write the recursive function. The function needs to return the maximum profit, so its return type will be an integer. It takes 4 inputs: the weight array, the value array, the remaining capacity of the knapsack, and the number of items still available for consideration. Once we have identified the inputs and output, the next step is finding the base condition. Instead of asking where recursion will stop, ask yourself what is the smallest valid input this problem can have. What is the smallest valid value for n, the number of items? It can be 0. And the smallest valid capacity of the knapsack can also be 0. Neither value can become negative. If there are no items left, there is nothing to choose from. So the maximum profit must be 0. Similarly, if the knapsack has no remaining capacity, we cannot place anything inside it. Again, the maximum profit is 0. That gives us our base condition. If n is 0 or capacity is 0, simply return 0. Find the smallest valid input. Then, determine the answer for that input. Now comes the interesting part. Remember one golden rule of recursion. Every recursive call must move toward a smaller problem. If the problem size never decreases, recursion never ends. In our case, we will process the items one by one, working from the last remaining item. At every call, we examine one item, make a decision, and reduce the problem to the remaining n-1 items. Suppose the current item fits. Since it fits, we have two choices. If we include it, we gain its value, but we also consume some capacity. So the call continues with one fewer item, reduced capacity, and the item's value added. The second option is to simply skip it. We do not gain its value, the capacity stays the same, and we continue with the remaining items. Since we are maximizing profit, we compare both possibilities and return whichever is larger. Now consider the other scenario. Suppose the current item's weight is greater than the remaining capacity. We do not have a choice anymore. The item cannot be placed inside the knapsack. So we simply ignore it and continue solving the problem with the remaining items. No comparison is required because there is only one valid path. We have written the whole function. But recursion truly clicks only when you watch it run. Let us trace a tiny example. 3 items. 1 kilogram worth $1, 3 kilograms worth $4, and 4 kilograms worth $5. And a bag that holds 5 kilograms. What is the most money we can carry? We start at the top, looking at the last item, the 4 kilogram one. It fits in our 5 kilogram bag, so we have 2 choices. Include it, we pocket its $5, and now only 1 kilogram of space is left for the smaller items. Or exclude it. We earn nothing here, but keep all 5 kilograms for the other 2 items. Follow the include branch. With 1 kilogram left, only the 1 kilogram item fits, adding one more dollar. So this path is worth 5 plus 1, which is $6. Follow the exclude branch. With all 5 kilograms, the best we can do from the smaller items is $5. Now the answers bubble back up. At the top, we compare the 2 paths and keep the larger. 6 versus 5. The maximum is $6. Include the 4 kilogram item plus the 1 kilogram item. That is the recursion, running. The beautiful part is, this exact same recursion works in any language. Here it is in C++, where the syntax is nearly identical. The very same logic in C, using plain arrays and pointers. And finally in Python, cleaner still, with no type declarations at all. Notice how naturally the recursive solution emerges. The entire algorithm follows 4 simple steps. Define the inputs and return type. Write the base condition using the smallest valid input. Build the choice diagram. And translate each choice into recursive calls. There are no tricks, no memorization, and no mysterious formulas. You are simply converting logical decisions into recursive code. And this is exactly why dynamic programming begins with recursion. If you understand this recursive solution, converting it into memoization is surprisingly easy. In the next video, we will optimize this solution using memoization, eliminating the repeated computations that make plain recursion inefficient.